People are demanding content be banned in Korea, and this is kind of insane what has happened with this. We also need to get into RM and his new song with Megan Thee Stallion called Neva Play, and people upset over a verse. And then we have people demanding for the label to apologize over something. So hey Dumplings, it's Dave Disci, let's get into it. People were very confused at what was going on, and I kind of thought that a lot of this was over. As someone who makes content on social media, especially someone who talks about a lot of the music and artists and all that stuff, copyright is definitely an issue I have to take into consideration. The issue of copyright is both good and bad. It can help an artist get more money or more views, as in when someone decides to upload a music video and re-upload it, or take the video and upload a lyric video, the person who uploaded that video with the song does not get any of the money that the video generates. That goes straight back into the label, and the label can then decide to give it back to the artist. So in a way, a lot of these things that have the music in it are supporting the boys in some capacity, which, by the way, this comes straight from Google or YouTube themselves, where they say that those views from other unofficial accounts still count towards the boys' ranking on the charts. So that is first and foremost. And then second, it can put the label at risk, as it can have all the videos removed, as if all the videos on the channel are removed, then there's no videos on the channel. So someone tweeted a video that apparently got 17 million views. It was a fan cam of V, and people were very upset about this because it was a video that had a lot of views, and it makes the artist look good when there's a video or fan cam with 17 million views. But then the label allegedly took it down. Not only added a copyright claim, which is typically not a big deal, there are a lot of copyright claims that are just a claim, meaning that the money that the video generates goes straight back to the label, and that's it. It's not really a big problem. But then there are other copyright claims where it blocks the video from being seen in certain countries. I don't really understand that, because how does a copyright get videos banned in certain countries? Now, some other things that were happening was that people were apparently noticing it wasn't just fan videos that were being taken down, but apparently official videos from official networks and TV stations were having their views drop. And as I'm saying this, people probably think it's not weird, but if you really think about it, that means that some of these fans are literally sitting there every day tracking the views on these official TV stations' YouTube channels. These people are literally sitting there and saying, oh my God, wait, that number looks different from yesterday. And there are thousands of these videos, and they're doing it for each of them. The views probably didn't change. You probably just forgot what the old views were, because there's so many of these videos. And then also to tack this on as a reason to blame the label when the label cannot get YouTube to delete views. This would be something that YouTube would be doing on their own. And the only reason why YouTube would delete views is because they feel the views are not legitimate. And this doesn't mean that all the views are not legitimate. It just means that the small amount of views that allegedly is missing just wasn't legitimate. This happens with everybody's views. This isn't a moment where it's, oh my God, V is the victim again. This is just something that happens. Now, people think that the label did respond because they were allegedly seeing some of those videos being reinstated, which I don't know if this was a direct response from the label or if it was more so the person who uploaded these videos appealing the copyright and sending a message to YouTube or the label. I don't know what it is. In my personal opinion, and I'm also biased since I make videos on here, but I think it's a good thing to have more videos of an artist. We don't live in a world anymore where people with the biggest platforms get the most amount of views. Literally, an account that could have been made yesterday with 0 subscribers can post a really good video and get 1 million views. So we should not discount these smaller accounts and try to take down videos, because it's still really good exposure for any artist. Now, I want to get back to BTS for a little bit, but there has been this issue that a lot of people have been talking about, and I think it's important to address. Recently, Felix from Stray Kids actually ended up needing to apologize for something that he did. So if you're unaware, he had a fan meet. It was like a private conversation with someone, and I guess the conversation was recorded. And I think they're typically recorded so that the fans can have that, and sometimes these people post it. And the conversation then later led into Felix mentioning a Japanese song, but apparently it was a Korean national pride sort of day, and it was not great to mention anything Japanese, apparently during that day. Felix has since then issued a public apology to say that, you know, he is sorry and he will be more careful, because one thing that he tends to lack is the deep understanding of what's going on certain countries, like politics and that sort of stuff. he specifies wanting to study more and wanting to learn more of these things in the future. And I can definitely relate to that because I definitely was not the best in history when I was in school, which is kind of funny that news is more of what I'm doing now. But also, I don't really see a big problem here with that. And especially tweets saying he needs to be banned in Korea is just too much. Just because the nation of Korea might have a problem with Japan, and I mean China does as well, doesn't mean that the individual people need to have a problem with it too. I think there definitely needs to be a separation between those things. There needs to be some individualism in some of these places. While collectivism and what a lot of these Asian countries do is awesome, there still needs to be a sense of self and a sense of thinking for yourself. If you're a Korean person or if you're any other Asian person and you don't even have one friend from a different region in Asia, that is a problem because that means you don't understand a different perspective. That means you just don't understand what's happening all around the world. While yes, there are horrible things that can happen during war and during political issues, that doesn't mean that you're involved personally. And when you are, then you can be upset, and I'm sure a lot of times they are. But if you're just going by hatred that's coming from a more historic era, then there's no need to do that and be angry unless you're affected by it right now. I hope that makes sense. But it just goes to show that people are angry to be angry nowadays. And people are looking for things to be angry about. And I actually thought that when COVID sort of lightened up, like the lockdowns and all that sort of stuff started to lighten, that people would just stop with this hate, at least dim down a little bit, whereas now it almost seems like every other person gets canceled for something, and quite frankly, I feel like it completely destroys the purpose of being canceled. No one's really scared about being canceled anymore. They're just kind of like, well, that's part of the job. And as everyone else gets canceled, these studios, these movies, these people who typically would see something like this and say, oh my God, we don't want the artist near us, will not say that anymore. They'll kind of see it and say, well, this is just what everyone goes through. So the cancellations just stop canceling. Recently, there is this cancellation that's trying to happen with RM and his verse on Megan Thee Stallion's new song. The song, in my opinion, is super catchy, and people are really hung up on this one specific sentence that was said in there. RM mentioned something about paving the way. He specifically says, "For Asia, man, we've paved the way." And people had a lot of problems with this because there was a lot of people that were saying, well, BTS and RM definitely did not pave the way for Asia. And then they go and list a bunch of other events that have probably done it first. Now, I have a different take on this than what I've seen other people say. It's a take that I'm very familiar with as, of course, being another Asian man. A rapper will typically rap about being the best. They sometimes even make up things about being the best. They sometimes just say like they're number one when maybe they're actually usually number two or number three. And it's kind of expected that they do that because a rapper is not going to rap about being second best. And usually people don't fact check it or say anything. And if they do say something, they say that this person isn't the best, and essentially in a joking way, and it's never really a big deal. But of course, God forbid an Asian man acts a little arrogant or cocky or says something that is a little arrogant or overly confident. And then all this fact-checking goons come in and try to correct this Asian man for saying that. How dare he? He needs to be put in his place. He's not that great. Would people say this if this was a white man that was rapping this, or if this was a black man that was rapping this? People had then not taken into consideration that there was a comma there, so that was another thing. With people saying that he said that he was paving the way for Asian men, with some claims even saying that this is sexist. One tweet specifically said if this was an attack against Asian women, and even if he was specifically citing Asian men, this would not be an attack against women at all. That doesn't make any sense. However, the actual verse specifies a comma there. So it's Asia, comma, man, comma, and then the rest of the verse. This is important to know because he is saying for Asia, and then he's going to say like man, similar to like aw man type of man. And I don't know if this controversy happened before Megan decided to post something on her story or if it was after, but she actually posted the specific verse that was in controversy and made sure to put a comma there so that people knew that RM wasn't saying Asian man. Also, he is saying Asia man. That doesn't make any sense. Like, even if there wasn't a comma there, I think people should realize, oh, that sentence doesn't make any sense. What is he saying? Because instead of thinking about it and maybe trying to consider an alternative meaning, people go right to canceling. This is a serious problem right now, and it has to do with people being so angry over nothing. So many people want the verse gone. So many people even have said that they don't like that RM is on it and that it should have been a different BTS member. And all of these things are absolutely crazy. I think he did a great job. The song is so catchy in my opinion. I love it. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Thank you to this lovely comment right here. I love you. Bye.